Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And what a win by the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks just finished up coming out victorious versus the Golden State Warriors, the final score being 119 to 112. And with this win, the New York Knicks improved to 41-27 on the season. And I understand the Golden State Warriors haven't been amazing this season, as they're only 3 games above 500. But if you take a look at their last 20 games, they actually have a 13-7 record. So they're still a team that you should not sleep on, and they're fully healthy. They're a fully healthy team. The team that we just matched up against tonight is the fully healthy Golden State Warriors, as we had no OG Anunoby and we continue to have no Mitchell Robinson. There's been no damage when it comes to his elbow. OG Anunoby, he did have an MRI today, and it came back clean, which is a very good sign. And maybe it's just a part of the natural healing process when it comes to his elbow. He's not going to be playing in the Nuggets game. But on a positive note, you got to be very encouraged. They got a couple wins in New York Knicks that some people didn't pencil in as W's or even give us a chance, because OG still not 100% in that Kings game. So people were questioning, with his lack of offense, were we going to win that game? And we won that game. Obviously, we started up against Portland in the Western Road Trip, won that one, but we beat the Kings, and then you beat the Golden State Warriors, and this is a revenge game. Let's keep in mind, the New York Knicks got off to such a good start like the Warriors did last time they played us, and it was at Madison Square Garden. We got off to an 18-4 start this game. Remember last time we played Golden State? It took us like 5 minutes to score a basket. We brought that type of energy. We brought that type of tenacity, which I freaking loved. And we had a brand new starting five out there that I want to give credit to Tom Thibodeau for, actually mixing things up. We had Jalen Brunson, but at the 2, Miles McBride. Dante DiVincenzo at the 3, Josh Hart at the 4, and then we had Isaiah Hartenstein. So a smaller lineup, but it didn't matter because they played with so much heart out there on the floor. Hartenstein, amazing. Josh Hart, amazing. Jalen Brunson, amazing. Deuce McBride, great. Just like everyone, Dante DiVincenzo. And what I loved about Dante's night is that so many guys contributed efficiently. Like, we're getting efficient shots, and Dante wasn't chucking up shots. And Dante's a good shooter. Like, when you're a shooter, shoot, but you go 4 for 8 from 3. Like, that efficient, which we needed. Even though he's been knocking down 2+ threes, just a majority of games, they've been on high volume. So I really like the shot diet. I really like the ball movement, especially early on. And the Knicks were actually in control of this entire game. The Warriors definitely did cut into the lead. They would make it a 10-point game when we would be up like 13 or 14 points, and they would make it a 6-point game. They would go on these runs, but the Knicks just had an answer for everything. But the beginning of this game was just so much fun to watch. Miles McBride, dude, this guy had it going on both ends of the floor. From 3, just knocking it freaking down, and he has improved so much as a 3-point shooter since his first year in the league. The progression has been amazing with Miles McBride, which you love to see. He ended up having a career high tonight, 29 points for Miles McBride, but he was knocking down his threes early. But it wasn't just him. Jalen Brunson, he got to the cup a couple times in that first quarter, but he was struggling with the shot from the outside. But Isaiah Hartenstein, awesome. He did a really good job, flashing in the middle, getting the ball right spot at the right time. That floater, he wasn't missing that floater tonight. He was not missing it at all. Offensively, he really brought it. He did an excellent job passing the rock, extra pass. There was an amazing sequence in the second half and a big momentum play when they were cutting into the lead. Jalen Brunson had the ball, found Isaiah Hartenstein. I want to say he was kind of posting up and then made the extra pass to Josh Hart for the reverse layup. Just Josh Hart played amazing as well. I know everyone's going to look at 0 for 6 from 3, but the hustle out there on the floor was amazing. Josh Hart would turn the ball over, hustles back like a cornerback, and just he does a good job tracking the ball, comes up with a steal, and then leads to a bucket. But Hartenstein has his floaters going. But McBride, what did he play, 46, 47 minutes? I want to say he rested for 1 minute in this game, just chasing around Curry. We know Curry likes to move like freaking crazy, but it didn't matter. He was glued to him. Curry finished with 27 points in this game, but he wasn't efficient. If you take a look at Curry's box score here, he didn't have an efficient game. And I know some Warriors fans are going to say, well, McBride didn't defend him the whole game. He played 47 minutes. It was pretty much on him. Yes, there was moments he was on Chris Paul when it came to certain switches. Yeah, Curry had 27, but he shot 4 of 13 from 3, 8 of 20 from the field, got to the free throw line 7 times. McBride, just amazing. I have nothing bad to say about McBride. This dude hustles every night, and when he shows up offensively and his shots are falling, man, just freaking watch out. And I'm glad we got him paid like we already paid him. Because what if we had to pay him even more? But we got off to a great start, and it wasn't Curry that got them back in the game. It actually wasn't a starter. Because if you look at Brandon Pajewski, He actually had 0 points in this game, and he started. We did an excellent job on him. You know, I know you're going to look at the Warriors scored over 100 points. Well, that run wasn't going to continue forever of allowing these teams to score under 100 points. But he didn't step up big time offensively. The Knicks did a good job on Wiggins being physical with him, forcing him into some tough fadeaways. But I'll give some freaking credit, man. I got to give credit because this dude's been balling with the Warriors. He has, and he's been one of the reasons the Warriors have been pretty successful lately. Trace Jackson Davis and his opportunity. Dude, his catch rate, his ability to high point the ball off of alley-oops, he's been awesome. You know, second chance opportunities, he's really done a good job. But one of the reasons this became a ball game, you know, the Warriors weren't going away, even though we had the lead the majority of the game. But the reason why it wasn't a big-time blowout, we had some turnovers, and we were making our shots. But yeah, we couldn't defend Jackson Davis. He was just demolishing us in the paint. Sims couldn't keep up with him. Sims looked lost. I think Sims only had like 5 or 8 minutes tonight. And Sims, he's athletic, he's strong, but he's not intimidating in the paint. Like, guys are just going right at him and finishing. That was one of the main reasons the Warriors got back into it. Chris Paul, he had 7 points, like, before the Knicks game, or 8 points. But, of course, he gets off to this amazing start and has, like, 7 points in a few minutes. But we weren't defending him, and we were stuck in a pickle at times when Curry and Chris Paul were out there on the same time. Because it's like, all right, McBride, he's capable of defending Curry right now. But Chris Paul, when it comes to that mid-range shot, it just couldn't be guarded. But the Knicks, we were in control of that first quarter and second quarter. The second quarter I could save for 8 minutes because we're up double digits, but it becomes a 6-point game at half because we have some stupid turnovers. Josh Hart fought his ass off tonight, played amazing, like another triple-double. That's 5 triple-doubles on the season for Josh Hart. And he's actually 3 away from tying the franchise record of triple-doubles of Walt Frazier with 8. Will he get there? Let me know down below in the comment section. But we had some turnovers. You know, you have to credit the Warriors. They're playing some good defense. And even though Klay doesn't start anymore, he still went 5 for 10 from 3. And he hit some pretty big shots, just like when you thought the Knicks were going into halftime with so much momentum. It's just not going to be easy versus the Warriors. It's just not going to be. Even when there was 2 minutes left and it looked like we're in full control, when Curry could space the floor like he can, and Klay Thompson, it's going to be tough for the game to be over. And Wiggins is still, even though Wiggins has been not great offensively this season, he's still a versatile defensive player. Same thing with Draymond Green. But Draymond, he had 2 points tonight. You have to give credit to the Warriors for fighting. They kept feeding their bigs, like the bigs of Trace Jackson Davis, and he really killed on the inside. But the third quarter, I'm like, we have to get off to a good start in the third quarter. Because think about it. I love McBride, but he might get fatigued at some point. And he did look tired at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Don't get me wrong, but he's still young. He has young legs, and he didn't look exactly fatigued defensively. He didn't. But the start of the third quarter, I loved it. And I also want to give credit to Dante DiVincenzo. Like, first possession of the game, gets the floater to go, knocks down a 3, really played within the system in that at the beginning of the first quarter. But even the third quarter, you know, and I'm not sure if this play was in the second or third quarter, but one of my favorite plays of the game is when the Knicks are tracking down a defensive rebound. You think the Warriors are going to get it, but then Josh Hart punches it ahead, and then Dante DiVincenzo knocks down like a huge 3. I believe that was with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, because then the Warriors ended up going on a run, and we know we had some mental lapses. Again, Sims was bad. Like, Precious Achiuwa, he had a nice finish in the first half. I remember off of a nice Brunson feed. Like, Brunson had a nice 2-man game with Hartenstein going. But, yeah, Precious, he looked lost at time. But Sims is just so jumpy. I just couldn't really defend Sims. But in that third quarter, Brunson he erupted. He was unbelievable in that third quarter. He got off to a slow start from 3, but he was knocking down his corner 3s. He had it going. He was distributing the rock. He finished with 34 points, 7 assists. And you watch him play the game of basketball. He's not a free throw merchant like some people like to make jokes about other players. This dude is a pure hooper. 3-pointer, got it. Get to the mid-range, right there. Shifty, amazing footwork. That play in that third, when he worked downhill, got hit in the head by Draymond, but of course they didn't call it. That reverse layup, unbelievable. He just took over. And even though the Warriors bench outclassed our bench, you know, even though Burks knocked down a 3, drew a foul on a mid-range shot, Bogdanović actually hit a pretty big-time mid-range shot in that fourth quarter when the Warriors were cutting it close. That was a timely shot by Bogdanović that I think deserves a lot of credit. Third quarter, the Knicks continued to take it to them. I remember DiVincenzo knocked down a 3. McBride knocked down a mid-range jumper. That was one of my nitpicks. I wish we got McBride involved a little more in that third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, he stepped up when it mattered most. Like, he wasn't getting a crazy amount of shots. and they were trying to force them into like pull-up jumpers, not just strictly catch and shoot. But the fourth quarter, when we're up 10 at the start of it, like there was no offensive flow at all. It looked like there was no leader, there was no general. A few minutes into it, like we couldn't score the rock. I believe we went on like a big time offensive drought, and they cut it to 4. Chris Paul knocks down a jumper when it comes to mid range. We leave Wiggins open for 3. The way he's been shooting the rock this season, though, I'm not completely mad at it, but you don't want to give them confidence. But then another trip down, the Knicks don't execute offensively. Trace Jackson Davis gets a bucket in the interior, and it's literally a 4-point game. Out of the timeout, I don't know what Tom Thibodeau told the New York Knicks, but it worked. It absolutely worked. Jalen Brunson was just going to work. What he does in the fourth quarter, ultimate clutch player in the fourth. That read I was talking about earlier in my video of when Brunson was able to dump it down to Hartenstein, found Josh Hart for this cut, reverse layup, laid it up and in. Josh Hart had a nice coast-to-coast play. It just felt like we had a back-breaking play. Like, whenever the Warriors would respond, we would just punch back. We're like, no, this is our freaking game. We're going to win this game. And I thought we were more physical than them. I know their bench stepped up at a higher level, but each of our starters had double digits or more points. I mentioned Brandon Pajemski, 0 points. Draymond Green, 2 points. Wiggins, not even 10. Curry wasn't efficient when he was out there on the floor, even though he had 27 points. So I know everyone's going to look at the final score and be like, this wasn't a defensive game. But it kind of was. McBride was definitely up in that jersey. The amount of minutes Josh Hart played, McBride played, and Josh Hart just snagging rebounds like crazy. I know he went over 6 from 3, but him creating for others, like the Knicks just since that timeout were amazing. And I thought what really sealed it, this game was over in my opinion, even though it's never over really against the Warriors until the clock strikes 0 against any team. But when we were up, I believe, 9 points, and McBride hits this huge 3 to make it a 12-point game with 3 minutes left because our defense was so stout during that moment. You could say outside of Trace Jackson Davis, I really liked the perimeter defense. But the way the direction of this game was going, kind of a gritty battle, I'm like, we got this game. We got this game. Again, McBride, 29 points. You can make the case. He literally outplayed Curry tonight. I know the way Curry is defended is different than McBride, so there's more pressure on Curry. But McBride played amazing. He really did. And no doubt about it, Jalen Brunson looked like the best player on the court. Before McBride knocked down that 3, Brunson just dribbles the ball up the court, pulls up right in Curry's face from mid-range. Jalen Brunson just continues to be unbelievable. We've seen it all season. We saw it all last season. But how big time he's been in the fourth quarter, getting timely shots, even getting his teammates involved. This was a great game by Brunson. He had a few turnovers like at the end of this game, but it was pretty much sealed. It was sealed. And I'm just proud of this team. Like, no OG, a versatile defensive piece, someone that can stretch the floor, moves without the ball, and we won. Like, there's some concerns with the second unit, no doubt. Bogdanovich hit a pretty big shot in the fourth quarter, but you got to be proud of the way the Knicks played. Since that timeout, the Knicks just took it to them. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.